Hello, my brilliant listeners. Guys, you are tuned into B Square English Cup and you are Arun Kumar. Guys, today we discussed about list of collocations. By using this collocation, you have to increase your level in English drastically. You might ask, sir, what is actually collocation? Collocation is nothing like that. It's a natural combination of verbs. For example, everybody says make a decisions. Not anyone says do a decision. And somebody says, I would like to prefer strong coffee. Strong coffee. No one says powerful coffee. Powerful coffee. So, combination, the powerful coffee, no. Strong coffee. Make a decision, not do a decision. So it's a combination of words. This is actually used by native speakers. Maybe when you use collocation, this kind of collocation, I think you speak like a native speaker. I have had list of powerful collocation, C1 and C2 level collocation. I think these collocations instantly improve your English without any doubt. So we dive into this term collocation. In dire straits, it's purely tell about your situation, financial situation, and difficult financial situation. Maybe after pandemic, I'm in dire straits. After pandemic, I'm in poor, difficult financial situation. So that is called I'm in dire straits. I'm in dire straits. I have no money. Otherwise, I have insufficient money to buy a necessary thing. Second one, in dire need of. In dire need of. It's a few synonyms of need. Few synonyms of need. But it specifically tell about emergency. Need your emergency. Need your emergency. For example, the school in dire need of repair. Maybe the school is actually damaged, so it must repair emergently or as soon as possible. So this is actually school in dire need of repair. Repair. Third one, face dire ramification. Face dire ramification. Of course, phase is nothing like that deal with. And dire, of course, negative, and of course, negative. Ramification is a kind of consequences. So you deal with negative consequences. For example, if you ignore safety protocol, you have to face dire ramification. Fourth one is actually the bear the brunt of. Bear the brunt of. Guys, someone is suffered worst level. ரொம்பவே பாதிக்கப்பட்டிருக்காங்கன்னு சொல்றது bear the brunt of. Bear the brunt of. For example, children bear the brunt of war and conflict. எப்பவுமே சில்ட்ரன்ஸ் தான் கான்ஃப்ளிக்ட் வந்தாலும் சரி வார்னாலும் சரி ரொம்பவே பாதிக்கப்படுற முதல் மற்றவங்க கூட ஓரளவு மேனேஜ் பண்ணிடுவாங்க பட் சில்ட்ரன்ஸ் ஒஸ்ட் லெவல்ல பாதிக்கப்படுறது ஸோ பேர் த பிரெண்ட் ஆஃப் கோர்ஸ் சில்ட்ரன் இன் த வார் டியூரிங் த வார் ஆஃப் கோர்ஸ் கான்ஃப்ளிக்ட் and caught in vicious cycle. For example, you are trapped in loop of problem. See, you face some problem, you realize I think problem is settled. That problem makes another problem. Another problem makes another problem. Another problem makes another problem. It's a loop. It's nothing is being settled. So it's a loop. The poor are caught in vicious cycle because of debt and poverty. Debt on poverty. I think it's a beautiful example sentence for caught in vicious cycle. Sixth one, fond of. Fond of. It's a kindly Synonyms of like. For example, I am fond of music. I like music. I am fond of music. Music, pure advanced level structure. Fond of. Fond of. Seventh one. Consumed by guilt. Consumed by guilt. It's a good collocation. Maybe you are guilt. You are guilt. It's a beautiful collocation. Probably he is consumed by guilt after lying to his friend. After lying to his friend. அவர் ஃப்ரெண்டு கிட்ட போய் சொன்னதுக்கு அப்புறமேட்டு he is feeling guilt. ரொம்பவே கில்ட்டா ஃபீல் பண்றது இல்லையா? He consumed by guilt. So pure suitable collocation. Just use. Eighth one, plagued by anxiety. Plagued by anxiety. Of course, he is feeling very anxiety. He was anxiety. He is anxiety. Plagued by anxiety. Students are plagued by anxiety before examination. Ninth one, gripped by fear. Gripped by fear. It's a complete synonyms of fear. Like, I am gripped by fear after watching horror movie. Horror movie பார்த்ததுக்கு அப்புறமேட்டு I feel fear. Okay, it's natural. Tenth one, driven by ambition. Driven by ambition. Guys, it's a purely motivated collocation. He is driven by ambition to become entrepreneur. Entrepreneur. See, it's a meaning of அவனோட ஆம்பிஷன் நோக்கியே ஒவ்வொரு நாளும் டிரைவ் ஆகிட்டு இருக்கான், அந்த வழியில தான் போயிட்டு இருக்கான்னு சொல்றது இருக்கு இல்லையா? இட்ஸ் he is driven by ambition to become an entrepreneur. entrepreneur ஆகணுங்கிற அந்த மோட்டிவேஷன்லயே போயிட்டு இருக்கான்னு சொல்றதுக்கு பேர் தான் he is driven by ambition to become entrepreneur. To become an 11th one, paramount significance. It's only for IELTS and who actually want to write IELTS, TOEFL or any competitive English examination. So it is for you. Of paramount significance. Guys, it's a more importance. Education is of paramount significance. Just it's beyond my thinking. Subject, verb, then preposition. It's beyond our thinking. We are always dissecting the sentence. So what is actually subject? What is actually verb? After the verb, what I am using maybe adjective, adverb, and noun, but I can't use preposition. But this particular collocation is starting from preposition, the beautiful one that is of paramount significance. It's a pure rich level sentence. Just use it. Third one is of considerable merit. Of considerable merit. It's starting from, of course, preposition, having a great value. That is actually of considerable merit. For example, Ponniyin Selvan book is of considerable merit. Of course, it has a great value. So, without any doubt. 13th one, of vital importance. Of vital importance is equal to of paramount significance, but it's more important, more necessary. For example, clean water is of vital importance. Of course, during the pandemic situation, during the COVID situation, clean water is of paramount significance. This is of vital importance. Establish a president. Establish a president. See, establish a president, create some example to follow by other. For example, court ruling established legal precedent. So the legal precedents create an example. Another one can follow this. This is actually established legal precedent. Legal precedent. Another one, guys, exercise authority. Exercise authority. Use your power. For example, teacher should exercise authority to maintain discipline. Discipline, of course, it's happened. Next one, guys, enforce regulation. Enforce regulation. Enforce regulation, nothing like that. Ensure people must follow this. Must follow this. உறுதிப்படுத்தணும். People அதை ஃபாலோ பண்ணியே ஆகணும்னு சொல்லிட்டு government had to enforce the environmental regulation. Another way, society is in dire need of environmental regulation because of climate changes. So enforce regulation, and another, implement policy. See, put your rule to the people, put your rule to the society. This is actually implement policy. Government implemented policy on plastic use. Of course, is actually implemented. Address the issue. This particular collocation is actually wonderful collocation for IELTS students who actually handle the letter writing or task 1 academical writing. I think it's a beautiful collocation. Address the issue, deal with the problem, tackle the problem. This is address the issue. For example, we must address the issue of youth unemployment. I think it's a beautiful example for address the issue. Impose sanctions. It's a kind of penalty when you break the law, I think. For example, sanctions are imposed because of not following the rule proper, and sanctions were imposed because of violating the law, violating the trade rules. So this is actually beautiful examples for imposed sanction. Achieve a milestone is reach a significant point in the progress. You achieve some point. This is actually achieve a milestone. For example, graduation is achieving personal milestone. This is actually one of beautiful examples for achieving milestone. Next one, surpass expectations. It's an overshadow. So you expect something, but you achieve another level. This is actually surpass expectation. நீங்க எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணது ஒன்று, நீங்க எதிர்பார்க்கறது ஒன்று, பட் நீங்க அச்சீவ் பண்ணது அதை விட அதிகம் அப்படின்னு சொல்றது surpass expectation. For example, students surpass expectation in the examination. I think it's a good example for surpass expectations. It's an overshadow. Surpass expectation. Set a benchmark. You set standards. That is actually set a benchmark. You set standard. For example, Apple set a benchmark for innovation. Of course, it's a purely crude in the past days. So that is actually completely agree. Apple set the benchmark for innovation. Next one, sustain momentum. Sustain is nothing like that. It's a maintain. Momentum is nothing like that. So progress or speed. That is actually maintain your speed, maintain your progress. That is sustain momentum. For example, after winning, team must sustain the momentum. So after winning, team must maintain the progress and the speed also.